Hello people of Earth and outer space, how are you all doing? Now for today's video I'm joined by this little guy. He is a Madagascan hissing cockroach. It is a male, yes. I'm going to be doing a separate video about these guys in like another video. Wow, Molly, state the obvious. Today's video is going to be my top 10 dream pets. I'm going to make them as realistic as possible, although some of them I'm likely never going to own in my lifetime. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get straight onto the video. Top keeps coming up and it's so annoying. Like, when it's like this, it don't look cute. It doesn't look cute like that. So the first pet on my list is a micro pig. I bloody adore micro pigs. They are literally the cutest little animals in the world. I don't know, I'd love to have a little pig running around the house, although the only thing that puts me off is that there's been a lot of horror stories where people have sold just like baby pigs to people and they've turned out to be just like normal pigs and have grown up to be like huge adults, and that kind of scares me a bit because I don't have room. I will never have room for a huge pig. Well, I may do one day, you never know. But yeah, micro pigs are definitely up there on in my top 10 of like dream pets. Next animal on my top 10 dream pets list is the camel spider. Now I don't know if you've heard of it, I'll pop in a picture now. Camel spiders are basically like these really like alien looking kind of creatures, and they're just, oh, I just love them. They don't have like fangs like most spiders do. They like use these like huge mandibles at like the front of their face to like kind of chew up their prey live, and I just think they're just amazing creatures and they'd be really cool to keep. Where do you think you're going? I don't know if you've noticed, but I had to change the cockroach because the other one was just trying to escape. But yeah, that's my number 2 dream pet. And the next two I'm going to talk about are actually two like different snakes, but they're both snakes. So the first one is an albino Burmese python. Burmese pythons grow, I think it's to about 13-15 feet max. I'm not 100% sure. This isn't poop, by the way, this is just a bit of substrate from their enclosure. Burmese pythons I think are just beautiful. I've always loved like bigger snakes. I do like retics, but they're just not as docile as Burmese pythons are. So I feel like if I was to go for either of the two, I'd definitely go for the Burmese python. And I think the albino, however you say it, ones are just, they're just beautiful. I just adore them. Now the other snake that oh my buns fell out, for God's sake. The next snake on my list is the blue-eyed leucistic ball python. I think they are just one of the most beautiful morphs of ball python in the world. I think the whole like market of ball pythons is a bit of a controversial subject because a lot of people think that some of the prices they go for are just like ridiculous, and it's kind of like they're no longer like pets to love, they're just animals to kind of like make money off, and I kind of agree in a way, but I love like blue-eyed leucistics, and if I ever got one it wouldn't be like I'm gonna get this so that I can make money off of it. I'm not saying I never would breed them because I might, but I feel like they're just gorgeous animals and I would adore that snake. Like, I've got 2 ball pythons at the moment and I absolutely adore them, and that's just like my dream morph. So yeah. The next animal on my list is the African grey parrot. I adore those birds. They're just gorgeous, and they're such intelligent animals. Although they can be expensive, I feel like it'd just be worth it. Like, it'd be such a rewarding experience to own a bird like that, and they live for like years and years and years, so it's such a big dedication. You have to be willing to put pretty much your whole life into it in a way. but I've never owned a bird myself before. My boyfriend has owned birds, and I've been with him when he's owned birds, like he's owned budgies and cockatiels and finches, etc. And I love them. But African greys, I don't know, there's just something about them that I just adore, and it's just my dream to own one of them one day. The next animal on my list is clownfish, and I know that sounds really weird, but I've only ever owned goldfish, and naive, ignorant 12-year-old me kept them in an enclosure about this big and this high. Oh, I say enclosure, but I mean tank, like, you know what I mean. So yeah, they didn't exactly get to thrive and live their fullest life, so I was a bit like, why do they die at like 2 years old? Like, I don't get it. But since I've done my research, I've kind of come to terms with the fact that fish, like, they need a big, like, aquarium / tank if they want to, like, fulfill a, like, good life, you know, a good healthy life. I feel like clownfish are just beautiful, and I know a lot of people want them because of the film Finding Nemo, but I just want them because I love, like, to start my own little tank with, like, the anemone, and like seeing the clownfish like feed their anemone. I think that would just be such an amazing thing to be able to watch, and also it would be such a good, like, education experience, because I've never owned fish, like properly owned them, since I've gotten into animals, and I feel like it would just be, it would be a challenge for me, and like learning everything there is to know. But I feel like I'd love it, and it'd be such an amazing experience to own a fish like that. The next animal on my list is a tegu. Now, if you're not sure what a tegu is basically like this 4-foot lizard, and they're just amazing pets, to be fair. They can, like, be trained to kind of, not necessarily, I wouldn't say be puppy dog tame, but they can get quite tame to the point where, like, you can pick them up, you can stroke them, like, they'll come and sit by your lap or whatever. But I just think they're, like, amazing animals, like all animals are, but I just feel like they'd be just such a different and unique pet to have. The only issue that kind of puts people off in a way, it's not necessarily an issue, but, well, there's 2 things I could think of that people kind of, like, this is the reason why people don't initially get tegu. One of them is that you need a lot of space for the tegu enclosure, at least 8 foot by 4 foot. Also, it can be a very kind of long and tedious process of, like, taming your tegu, like getting your tegu to be kind of like friendly with you, or like get used to you. It can be a very long process, especially if you get them from a baby, and that puts a lot of people off because they kind of just want a dog that will instantly be like, oh yeah, friendly, human, love, playing. But I feel like I would be so willing to put in that time and effort and be so patient with that animal and kind of bring it up to, like, get used to human contact, and to the point where, like, it can, like, roam free around the house to some extent, and I could kind of just, like, chill with it on my lap or, like, stroke it and everything, and I feel like that would just be a really great experience again. But yeah, tegu is definitely one that I consider getting in the future. Next animal you probably haven't heard of, because I hadn't heard of it until I watched Exotic's video about it, and it's called a glass lizard slowworm. It has a few different names, but I really want a glass lizard, and that is basically a lizard with no legs. It looks like a snake, and I'll show you a picture now. They're just, again, so unique and so different. I haven't exactly done, like, tons of research into this animal, because it's not one that I'm thinking of getting, like, anytime soon, but in the future I would definitely, like, love to own this animal. I just love to see people's faces when I show it to them and they think it's a snake, and I'm like, you wrong. But yeah, I just feel like they're such different animals, like the way they live, and just, I don't know, it'd just be an interesting experience to own one. But yeah. The next animal on my list is the Colossus millipede. They are basically just like millipedes that grow to, I think it's like 30 inches they can reach, which is like ridiculous for a millipede. I own 6 millipedes, and the biggest one I have is my giant African millipede, and I'd say he's maybe about 10 inches right now. I did have one called Clay. I'd say he got to about 12 inches. He was huge, but unfortunately he passed away because I think he was at his like limit age, like he'd reached his time. But yeah, I feel like they're just amazing animals, and just owning such, I don't know how it is, but I just love like big animals, and owning like a giant millipede would be like amazing. Like the task of trying to handle it, like handling a giant African millipede, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that is a task in itself. But holding a 30-inch long millipede, oh my god, that would be something. And the amount of times my millipedes poo on me, the poo that would come from that thing would be like huge, like, but I'm willing to put up with it because they're such cool animals, and yes, that's definitely one on my list. I just realised I've had lipstick on my teeth for like the whole video. I hate myself with a passion. Now, on to the last kind of animal of the video. The last like animal that I'd consider one of my dream pets is a caiman. Now that's kind of like a smaller version of a crocodile or an alligator. Now these don't exactly make ideal pets, like I'll agree with that, but I feel like with the right resources and enough research you could keep one successfully, and people have done. I don't know how many people keep them in the UK, I'm going to be honest. But I just feel like it'd just be, again, an amazing experience, something different, something unique, something like not many people would have seen before. And I wouldn't just keep it for like the sake of being able to say, oh look how cool I am, I have like a little alligator / crocodile in my house, way. I'd literally just keep it like, you know, just because it'd be such a good education, like, kind of experience for me and my boyfriend, and it's just having something different, like just having that experience with the animal, getting to know such a wild animal, you know, because I don't think they've been in captivity for that long, so just having that experience with an animal like that would just be absolutely insane. So guys, that's it for today's video. I'm now joined by one of my biggest hissing cockroaches, and we're here to say goodbye. The others were a bit kind of like restless during the video, so I was like, nah, I'll just put them back, I don't want to stress them out too much. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching, guys. It means the world. I actually have a Patreon page. If you would like, you can go and have a look and just check it out. You don't have to donate, but it would mean so much to me and my animals if you would. It's just like kind of like a way to kind of help fund me into like further research into my animals and being able to get like the top-notch facilities. Like, me and my boyfriend, we already like, we have enough to like care for these animals, and we have enough to like get them good enough facilities, etc. But just being able to get that extra mile for them would just be absolutely amazing. And so any help or like any donations that you guys could give would just mean the world to us. So thank you so much for watching again, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.